Well, folks, it's time to get into the news. Extra Salt have made their signing. They've chosen Fang to fill the large shoes left open by Floppy, and definitely has a lot to work on, Fang, but I think that Fang, to really just cut to the chase here, is a fantastic pickup. Why do I think Fang's a fantastic pickup? Stick around to find out, but let's look into Fang a little bit. He played during IEM Beijing Online with Rugrats, stood in for the New England Whalers in the DreamHack Winter Tournament, and he's really been a very solid player overall for a few seasons now in MDL. I believe played in the last 3 seasons of the Mountain Dew League, and he's done very well as a player, and he's been somebody that several of us have kept an eye on as to be another big North American prospect. So it's definitely good to see Fang starting to really come alive here. That Rugrats roster towards the tail end of the season was absolutely fantastic too. So he was a key part of that roster, and standing in the very large shoes on the Whalers roster too during DreamHack Winter. He did phenomenal for them. You can see these ratings here, a 109 rating in IEM Beijing. And he had a 111 rating against Liquid and Chaos. Chaos, a top 20 team. Liquid, well, they need no introduction. The Extra Salt roster, I'm sure we all know who they are. JT, Sonic, MOTM, and OC with Coach Doc. You know, that roster, a lot of potential. I said it before. You can go back and look at my video on why Cloud9 needs to give that roster more time. And while they did give him more time, I think that the whole situation in the world did expedite things a little bit there with that team and the lack of LAN. But this team has still a lot of potential. Still a very, very young team. And actually, we could check out the average age of this team right here. Average age is 21.1 years old. That is so low. The amount of potential you can have on a roster that has made it to the top 20 in times past. Yes, with a different player, but I think Fang could fill those shoes of Floppy very, very easily. But you have a team that's made it to top 16. 16 was the highest they placed. This team, at 21.1 years of age on aggregate, that's massive. That is a huge amount of potential. And Fang is another young prospect to add into the squad. JT is a very solid IGL. And he can lead this team extremely well. MOTM, you know what you're going to get with him. Very solid clutch player when necessary. Sonic, well, if you can get Prime Sonic back, this roster is going to be scary. And OC, in the last about year or so, has really come into his own and established himself as a top North American opper. In fact, one of the best oppers, I would say, in the region right now. And that's a lot of praise. I mean, North America, we've had some great oppers in the past. And for OC to step into those reins, I think it's a really good spot for him. But also, really, Josh has become a really smart player through the last couple years as well, moving up through the ranks in MDL and then into Pro League and Flashpoint, and we've seen him grow as a player to an immense role, and he really has become a top-opping prospect, and I think he's going to be one of those core pieces that this team is based around. And I think if they can really base things around OC and Fang, with Sonic doing what he does best and just fragging out, this team is going to become scary for any team in North America, and then once we get back into international lands, this team will be scary overall as well. Let's look at Fang stats, though, a little more in depth. You can see his last bit of work here. Played for Rugrats during the tail end of the MDL season. This win over Whalers, absolutely huge. Let's see if Fang had some big wins, big stats here. He didn't exactly have the best game, 16-11. Infinite and Cobra really taking the reins there, but still, 115 HLTV rating, plus 5 kill to death differential, and ADR 64.5. Not exactly the best game, but still a good team win. This win over Yeah Gaming in the IEM Beijing closed qualifier, though, is probably one of the biggest wins that the Rugrats had as a roster. It was this win over Yeah and this win over the Whalers that were the 2 biggest wins that they had. If you look at this win over Yeah Gaming, we can see Fang had most damage and most assists, did not have the most kills. That honor went to Fast Zine. Fang also having the best rating. You see here, 47 and 32. 101 ADR across 2 maps. That's absolutely insane for an 18-year-old player. for any player, but for an 18-year-old player too, that's absolutely massive. And then if we look over towards the 2-1 victory over the New England Whalers, you can see here Fang most kills, most first kills, best rating, 13 entries, 70 and 52, 81 ADR across 3 maps, 125 HLTV rating. And Fang, again, really coming into his own, playing against some of these top teams, some of these great teams in the region. And you get this kind of performance from a player, seems to be the player that always grows to the level of his competition and tries to surpass it. You put this kid up against any of the best teams in the world, and you'll probably see this kid grow across the terms of a match and see him come to another level. Fang, again, very young player, great prospect, fantastic pickup from Extra Assault. And I cannot wait to see this team start to compete. This is a team that I love watching. I loved watching on their ATK iteration. I loved watching them in their Cloud9 iteration. And now here on Extra Assault, I'm going to continue loving to watch this team. They have a lot of promise, a lot of potential. And hats off to the Extra Assault organization too for coming into North America in this time of turmoil and giving us this team to have a home. They're giving us hope here. High Coast, Extra Assault coming in here. Yes, Envy might have left. We'll have that one out tomorrow. I figured this was more pertinent news and more exciting news, so I wanted to do this one today. But we have orgs coming into the scene. We have orgs coming into our community, which is hungry for orgs. We want people to support. You see the support that Triumph and Chaos were getting. You see the support Triumph still gets. High Coast, Extra Assault, we are here for you as a region. We will support you. Thank you for coming into this region, for being here and giving us teams and giving these teams a home. And well, Extra Assault, props to you for giving this roster a home and good scouting on Fang, and looking forward to seeing what you guys have. Folks, if you have enjoyed this video, of course, please do leave a like, comment as well, and always do subscribe if you're new, and I hope you all have a great day. Expect that NB video around tomorrow, and maybe I'll get into some Valorant content too, we'll see. But as it stands, folks, Extra Assault, they picked up Fang. It's definitely going to be a sharp pickup, and we'll see what this roster is capable of when the coming season arrives. Thanks for watching. Peace out.